Not the Chuddle.
Chuddle.
Goo from Jump Street.
Who cares?
Surprise.
Want a hug?
Kinky.
Gorgy.
Fuck good.
Welcome to Girth.
You can't say Teddy Spaghetti 3 times or else...
Don't mention his name.
Posticle.
Your turn to feed it.
How big is this hole?
Oh, it's gaping.
Hey.
Out of the mist and into the fog, it's Chuddle the Pod.
What up, Shuttle Club members? Welcome to a brand new Patreon episode for you here tonight.
Ooh.
We're going to cover a movie that we all got together, and Sam texted Ross and I. Was like, hey guys, we need some picks to give to the patrons to pick out a movie for them to cover. And I came in and I picked Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. Then Ross came in and picked Austin Powers, Who Shagged Me. And Sam picked something different.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. But we landed on Austin Powers as we were hoping would happen out of the circumstances there. So, hey, Sam.
The Great Escape was what I picked. Sorry, I just looked it up.
Good. Hey, Sam.
Listen, hey, hi. So
there it is. And Ross.
There it is. Oh, hey.
Welcome. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being here tonight, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure. I think they like it. Anyway, patrons, we love you for being here, and we love you for having us there. Shout out to all of you. You are
Is this coming in your ears right now? Thank you.
Yo, you the real ones.
I just want to say, if we're coming in your ears right now, thank you very much.
Wait, what?
You know what she said. That's another. That's a new. It's
you
a
heard
new,
everything I said.
It's a new tier, Ross. We got
my ears runneth over.
The ears cometh.
Patreon.
So be sure to look out for that new tier coming, guys. All right, here we are. Austin Powers tonight. We're going back to the classic. It's been a while since I've seen this one, but this came out originally in 1997. So we're sitting on almost 30 years of Austin Powers once we come up to, which I was thinking would be fun.
It's almost been long enough since
he got
time.
Absolutely. Yep, exactly. Perfect. Maybe they're planning that for Austin Powers 4.
Austin Powers, Austin gets canceled.
Right?
Right. Very easily. We'll get into it.
Well, no, he's a good guy.
Exactly. We'll get into it. Yeah,
we're going to get into it.
Directed by Jay Roach, written by Mike Myers, starring Mike Myers himself, Elizabeth Hurley, Michael York, Mimi Rogers, Robert Wagner, Seth Green, Fabiana Udenio, Mindy Sterling, Paul Dillon, Charles Napier, Will Ferrell as his first feature role. Yeah. And then there's plenty of more people popping in and out of that, but that's kind of our big cast there. This one.
Oh, what?
It's got at least one. It's got a 1, I think.
I guess we'll save it for the spoilers, but fuck it, everyone's seen Austin Powers at this point.
Yeah, this is Patreon.
Yeah. What are you saying? The one
for the ill-tempered mutated sea bass eat that guy's head off?
Oh, that's true. There is a decapitated body. That is right. Yeah. Okay. It is very rubbery and perfect for what it is, but and then you do get squishing noises when the guy gets run over by the steamroller. So it's
either way, it's 2.5 in each category.
Okay, perfect. 1 works for me too.
It's a 1. Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Which is super funny that Austin Powers even hits
we
the
found a way to make it work. Yeah. I mean, who is this? Just who is this for? I'd be curious for someone our age to watch Austin Powers for the first time. I'd be curious as to what that reaction would be. I wondered about
that as well.
Yeah, as opposed to I could still see a 12-year-old or something, or a 13-year-old now watching it and enjoying it.
I thought about, when am I going to show this to my son?
Exactly.
Totally. Is this is this PG-13, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And another thing I loved about it comes in at a cool 1:29, an hour and 29 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's super digestible. One of the things I will say about it too is I don't remember, because I definitely had this on VHS, and they used to have, do you remember after the credits on the VHS, there was all these follow-up scenes to the shit that happened in the movie. Like there was like a whole thing of like the woman, like a woman getting the phone call about the guy who got steamrolled.
Yes.
And all that kind
but
of.
that wasn't. So I definitely saw that, but I didn't think that's how I saw it. But that's also why I thought I had it on DVD, and apparently don't. I rented it. But
yeah, no, I had it on VHS.
I do remember seeing
it was
that,
after the
but
credits.
I didn't remember that that's how I saw it. Yeah,
there's
it was
all
like
those
the
additional
henchmen
ones.
had families. Yeah.
Which I thought was the perfect place to do. It's like they had like these funny ideas for this. They were smart enough not to put it in the movie and just tack it on as the thing at the end, which totally worked.
Which makes it funnier, dude.
I mean, just full throttle ahead. I mean, the history of this, I think, is going to be one of the bigger things here. Is, I mean, I was a big Austin head, but I was not into it until, like, I think most people until it was out on video.
Yeah.
On VHS. I definitely
VHS.
didn't see it in theaters. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
But I didn't love it when I first saw it. I remember renting it because it, like, everybody was talking about it, and I was like, what, maybe 11?
Mm-hmm.
And it, like, I thought it was funny, but I didn't love it. And it wasn't until 2 came out. I was just so excited about 2. I remember getting the soundtrack for that. That like, maybe even just the excitement for 2 made me revisit it, and that was when I watched it. So what was that? Year or 2 years later? It could have been long, but for a child, that's a long time.
Right.
You know, I definitely remember seeing this on tape for sure. A lot of Austin Powers hype, though, in my school and where I was at. God, you could not go 5 feet without hearing some kind of Austin Powers quote at my school. Like this,
baby.
That was everywhere.
Everywhere, dude.
That wasn't just your school.
It was every, yeah.
That's why I was like, I guess I need to rent this movie.
Exactly, yeah. Even if this is one of those weird ones, like if you weren't on board originally for watching it, just the hype train of everyone around you, you'd have to see this at least once.
Right. I remember a kid in school telling us about, or telling me, who knows who was there, but they had seen it and telling us about the penis pump enlarger. And,
yes.
And then he pulls out like the receipt for it and the warranty for it and like blah, and we're like, thought that was the funniest thing. Yeah. And that was what I had heard. Thing. And I was like, I gotta see this movie.
This movie's almost like it's almost like a gateway drug to raunchy comedies. As in, like, it's kind of raunchy in a few different aspects, but it's very tongue-in-cheek in how it does it in comparison to, say, like, other comedy films that deal with, I don't know, just like gratuitous sexual overtones.
Like, right. Part of the joke is that like Austin is not attractive and like not.
And in 97, not going to fly.
Right. And like just that everything he does is so out of place. You know what I mean? The joke's on him. Whereas like a lot of those other movies, they're like, yeah, let's go see some tits, boys, or whatever.
Right,
like,
totally. Right. And I think actually that plays really well to the strength of this movie for the longevity of, like, there are certain movies that were made around this time that could probably never be made again. I think the huge thing of having your protagonist being this outlandish character and then everyone kind of giving him a reality check in 97, kind of like, I don't know, it's not as crazy as the other messages, but like that would be, I don't know, huge for like that time.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So my first, obviously you heard about it first, but I remember someone specifically on like a baseball team, like at a practice or something, telling me about the movie, and I definitely had seen it. And I remember saying something along the lines of like, oh, isn't that movie old or something like that? But it hadn't been that long since it had come out realistically.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I finally rented it and I thought it was fucking hilarious right away. So I was on board. People say like, oh, it's an excuse, you don't want to actually find the pictures. I don't know where they're at, but I definitely have pictures of me dressed up as Austin Powers. I was Austin Powers for Halloween one year. I still have my mail. symbol necklace.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember that as like a thing about you when I met you. It was like, Brian loves Austin Powers.
There's a thing about me?
So do I.
Yeah.
That was like an aspect of your personality. Absolutely.
Oh, fantastic. I was
like I loved Modest Mouse.
I wasn't going to say anything, but in college, that's actually how you were introduced by a second friend. Like, hey, this is Brian. This guy loves Austin Powers.
I mean,
I was like, you know what? I'm going to be.
Well, it's easy to tell when you meet him, and he's like, "Yeah, baby."
Yeah, baby. Yeah. I still have that. I used to have like a Got Milk poster with Austin Powers on it.
Like, how old were you when you were Austin Powers for Halloween?
13, 14. Had to have been, yeah. Somewhere right around that age.
Not like 16, 17, somewhere where
I don't know, like
been recent enough that
32.
Well, since I turned 30 every year, but before then,
I wanted to do it that one time when I was younger, but I really wanted to do it right. And once I was able to find the proper crushed velvet suit,
yeah,
you just stick with it. I go to all the cons now. That'd be fun. Just walking around cons. Hey, there you are.
That would be amazing.
So, should we just get into quoting the movie now?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go.
I mean, some of the biggest things. I mean, that stuck out for me right away is we obviously get our setup of Austin and kicking ass essentially in 1960s where he's just running everything.
Yep.
Just doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we get our introduction of Dr.
Everyone's
Evil.
chasing him.
The chase, our intro, musical intro, just super,
totally.
I don't know,
Love
fun atmosphere.
Yeah.
Just sets
you
the tone.
never see that
for everything. It felt extremely British, which is what he's supposed to be.
Oh, totally. Weren't there some scenes like for the chase scene with all of the schoolgirls and stuff? Like that's supposed to be from what is it, Hard Day's Night? The Beatles intro where they're all getting chased by fans and stuff like that.
I never watched any of the Beatles stuff. Only listen.
Yeah, so it varies. You feel the dripping, the oozing, the gooey Britishness of it right away.
Very British.
But my favorite things that always stuck out to me then was the whole he gets frozen. We go forward in time, and then the process of like him coming out of being frozen.
That's no woman. That's a man.
Oh well, that happens. Yes.
Yeah.
That's not a woman. That's a man, baby. And then.
No, that's a man.
Oh, okay.
Because when I was a kid, forever, I was like, why does he say man? And then one time watching it again older, I was like, oh, he's saying that's a man. And I just, as a kid, I did not get it at all. But yeah, so he's now Austin is getting, what do they call it? Reactivated or something?
I don't know.
Reacclimated.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Yes.
And
so he gets unfrozen.
And we get phase 2, which is the warm liquid goo phase.
The warm liquid goo phase.
That's a whole new meaning this time. We are a phase 2 podcast. Goocast. Anyone ever asks. And then obviously, this is one of the ones that seems to have always stuck with me is the evacuation scene of him peeing.
Yes, evacuation complete.
Evacuation complete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching last night when it happened. I laughed and I turned to my wife and I was like, "Classic." She's like, "It really is." Like
anytime I've taken a very long pee now in life, you think that anytime I just have those ones because it's happened every now and then.
If you ever need an example of a really long pee, that's like the go-to example.
It also kind of really does prime you for the kind of the level of humor that you're going to be getting through the entire film.
Yeah,
which is great. Which
is a lot of it. Right. Realistically, it's a lot of these little vignettes of things going out through this overarching story. But I mean, I feel like they pick and chose, as we kind of said, the right things to put in it, because there's probably so much shit on the cutting room floor and all that of...
Oh, totally.
Yeah. And we say Mike Myers is who we're talking about. Like, he wrote this movie. Obviously, it's produced, you're working with a team, all that, but like, that is crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
That he's the only credited.
Apparently, like, he kind of based it off of like a few different things, but one of the big things is that like he was one night after coming home from hockey practice, he started flirting with his wife in an English accent, which his wife laughed at and told him to write the routine down so he could do it again. And that's what led to writing the script, which led to this.
Awesome. Interesting. I heard it was him, like, a Burt Bacharach song came on the car while he was driving, and that gave him the idea.
It seems like it's a lot of different things, but this was
sure.
An English accent is
probably a lot of little things all came together
into this, because there's a lot of like in SNL, early SNL stuff. He was playing around with it.
I was going to say, isn't Dr. Evil based off of Dana Carvey's impression of Lorne Michaels?
It's just based off Lorne Michaels.
Yeah, it's just based off Carvey's
impression. Because everyone's Lorne Michaels impression sounds like that.
It sounds
and I had no idea till I listened. So I listened to Fly on the Wall, which is the Dana Carvey, David Spade podcast, where they have SNL, like anybody who's ever been on or hosted or whatever, on for interviews. And Lorne Michaels comes up a lot, and everybody has like different versions of him, but it's all like right. Like, let me tell you about the importance of water.
This is when I think Sam mentioned it before, of like the scene that people are talking about in school when he's gathering his belongings. But before that, we get Danger Powers, personal belongings. His name's Austin Powers.
Danger's my
Danger.
middle name.
Yeah, Danger's my
middle
name.
Middle name.
I just love.
Oh my God. I think it's the progression of like having the Swedish made penis pump, and then the Swedish made penis
then
pump,
the credit card, the receipt with the credit card,
card receipt,
then the warranty,
and
then the book that he made
said, "It's not my bag, baby."
Yeah, that's what makes it.
My Swedish pump, penis enlarger, and me.
This sort of thing,
that kind of thing is my bag, baby.
Bye.
Austin Powers.
And then, of course, we get the scene ending with him going back and grabbing the pump. You got to have
and grabbing it. Come on, hurry up.
Quickly.
Come along, man.
Quickly.
And then this also has one of the other little fun things about the movie is just all these weird little like in between dance scenes, and it just the 70s feel,
the cut scenes,
just grooving all around.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
we finally meet Dr. Evil. We haven't even really
it's all been like
touched on him much
in mystery.
We haven't seen him, and then we finally see him. I think when maybe when Scott comes in, or no, right before then when he's talking about he's gonna take over the world, or what's the first thing he says? He's like, "We're gonna make the prince."
When he's coming up with the plans to take over the world and all that stuff.
All right, well then we'll get a powerful laser.
And we'll take this laser and we'll put a hole in the ozone layer. Thus exposing everyone to the sun's harmful rays and skin cancer. That has already happened. This is where we meet number 2. This is where Will Ferrell's
Mustafa falls into the fire. It's like
the previous thing where we first meet Dr. Evil, he just has buttons that flip chairs back that go and burn people up.
So he did it to a bunch of people. In the first scene.
He's still alive, only very badly burnt.
I'm still alive. Very badly burned.
If you could come and help me, I actually designed the mechanism on this. And then the guy coming in and shooting him.
Oh my God! And he goes,
"You shot me!
You shot me! You shot me right in the arm!"
Bam.
Yeah, and so I mean, obviously at the time I had no idea.
Silly. So I just thought of something that happens in the. I think it's in the first scene when he comes back from when Austin, the reacclimation scene. Or is it after this? Shoot, I don't know. But it was a joke that I never really, I don't know if I got until this time, where he meets the intelligence agents and one's from Russia. And he's like, "Well, I'm glad to be on your side now with capitalism and the capitalist pigs." Like, Welcome my comrades, or something like that. Yeah.
That's when he can't control the volume of his voice.
Yeah. It's like, who are these people?
Or his inner monologue.
That got Sam and I really hard. It's even funnier knowing that that's why he yells that all of a sudden. Like, oh my god, this movie is the best.
Okay, so he comes up with eventually the plan to hold everyone ransom. We get another classic $1 million. Pinky to the mouth.
Everybody laughs.
Yeah, and then obviously we turn it to 100 billion. We meet Seth Green, Scott, his son, and so that Sam and I do a lot. I know that is our.
I'm hip.
I'm in.
With it.
Yeah. Again, let the coats fly.
I was thinking about that actually again for watching this with my son, because that's like a dated reference of the 90s that will be totally lost. That has no staying power. Right. You know what I mean? There's not much of that in there.
Yeah, that is, I guess, the Macarena. If for any of our young Patreon listeners out there, that's the Macarena he is doing there.
So I think we're now, what's her name? Agent Elizabeth
Vanessa
Hurley.
Kenningston.
Michael Myers. Kensington. Yeah. They
Vegas.
are going to go to, or they're in Vegas. Yeah. They just show up in Vegas.
They've learned that's where Dr. Evil's return. That's right.
Austin's going around. Good to be in America. That's where we get something Brian and I definitely say all the time, which he already referenced, which is,
hey, there I know.
No, but that's where you are. You're there.
No, but that's where you are. You're there.
I used to love. I love the red variant of his suit that he's wearing here, as opposed to the blue. And then we get there's the whole brilliant scene. This is to infiltrate. Figure out. He knows number 2 is going to be over here, so he starts playing poker, and then. Number 2 has like an eye patch that has X-ray, that has eye patch vision that can, see the cards.
You can see the cards.
So he's like, they're playing blackjack. So he's like, hit me. And he gets blackjack, and everyone claps and everything. And then
he goes, he says something to him like, are you sure, sir? He's like, I like to live dangerously. And he looks at Austin. And then he flips. And then bang,
flip
21.
It, blackjack. Everyone, beautiful. Then Austin gets dealt his hand a 5, and then he just looks up as well. I'll stay. Sir, I recommend you.
I suggest you hit.
Yeah. Did you know I never realized who the dealer is? That's the soup Nazi.
Oh, is it?
Oh, wow, really?
It is now that you say it, but I didn't realize that either.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Exactly. I also like to live dangerously. so that's definitely a joke that whenever I first rented it, like I probably didn't know how to play blackjack, or I don't. So like that was one that I remember whenever I watched it and did get it. That one like hit me really hard.
I wonder if in my life, because
like I said,
when I was younger, I definitely had gone to Vegas with my parents on some trips before, and I don't know if I had been before seeing this. Or after, if like having been to Vegas like added some impact to it or whatever.
Right.
Okay, so that leads us to the bathroom, which we get Tom Arnold.
We also get a lot of vagina.
And Richie Cunningham and my wife Oprah.
I'm Richie Cunningham. This is my wife Oprah.
Yes, and of course a lot of vagina.
Yeah. Which, for whatever reason, Austin's reaction to that and watching it this time really made me laugh. Like when he first hears it, he's like, "Excuse me."
It sounds like you named a lot of. Never mind.
Never mind. So and then he goes to follow number 2 to the bathroom, and he walks into the bathroom, and he's like, "Excuse me, you didn't happen to see anything at all?" Sorry.
Blind bathroom attendant in there. I also like it. Okay, so this leads us to he meets Tom Arnold, so he's all in his crazy getup. Tom Arnold comes in as a cowboy. He's like, "Are you in the show?" He goes, "No, I'm English." Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
So then they go into the bathrooms, and then this is when the fucking Lucky Charms guy comes out, which we didn't even touch on earlier when they're meeting him for the first time.
Deal me Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms.
It's a television
commercial. She improvised the lines about the Lucky Charms commercial. All that was improv from her. Yeah, which is perfect.
The pacing of it, like the rhythm. Sorry.
Yeah, the movie, again, cool 129. This movie's paced very well. It hits on all the right notes and just keeps it moving along. We get in the scene of someone trying to, like, it's perfect for when it's trying to satire. Like,
the spy movies. And
the spy movie type genre, of thing. So we're still getting mystery and intrigue, but it's fucking ridiculous.
And so, now he's got like a Peter Parker Spidey sense. Puts his thumbs up last minute. They're fighting. Now he's putting the guy in there. And he's like, "Who does number 2 work for?"
You show that turn who's boss
for 13-year-old Brian for sure.
Absolutely. It's like,
dude, this guy's trying to kill him and he's fighting him, but the guy next door to him in the other stall thinks he's just pooping.
Take it easy, buddy. You're gonna blow out no rings.
Probably the most like acceptable shit humor for a kid, especially with your parents. Like it would be like just on the precipice. Like that was the only time in the movie my mom was like, my folks was like, "Nah, that's fine."
Interesting. My parents probably would have more weird with the stuff with a lot of vagina later.
Oh, a lot of vagina for sure.
My parents would have been weird about the sex stuff. Not that my dad would have thought it was hilarious.
Right.
My mom would have just been like, "This is
stupid."
Great.
What is
literal potty humor.
Great. Okay, so we just ended with.
How about a courtesy flush?
Yes, in the toilet.
Oh, boy, what did you eat? The human in the toilet. He says, "What did you eat?" So now Austin's. I think around here we probably cut back to Dr. Evil doing something.
We do. And there's another thing I forgot to mention about, because we met the Lucky Charms guy, we meet Frau, we meet Random Task, which I never got when I was younger, is just...
That I actually did get because I was a big Bond fan before I saw these movies.
Which is a take on Odd Job, a random task.
Random task.
He throws a shoe. So do you know anything about that guy?
Honestly.
Joe Sun? Have you ever heard anything about this dude that plays Random Task?
No.
He's serving a lifetime prison sentence for the torture of a 19-year-old woman in 1990. He went uncaptured until 2008 when DNA match linked him to the crime. According to the victim, she unknowingly had a copy of this movie in her home until her attacker's identity was revealed. In 2017, he was sentenced to an additional 27 years for murdering his cellmate.
So he wasn't
Random Task.
Random Task was an actual baddie.
Yeah, real bad guy. Real bad.
Wow, that's
So
like
he killed his cellmate with his shoe.
Damn it. That's what's this, like Vigo from Ghostbusters 2 apparently was like a boxer and just a very horrible human being.
Oh. What do you know? So I think like one of the next big scenes that really got to me was the a lot of vagina scene when he breaks into there. I don't remember what happens in between, but that was always a nice young 13-year-old Brian was like, "Ooh, this is titillating."
Into that hot tub.
I was like, you got to be able to see it. There's got to be a way.
There's just wear and tear on that one scene. Just back and forth with the
There's
pause.
not.
There's not.
I've checked.
And I looked harder on the 4K version or whatever the hell I watched this time around. And
Just
it's a lot
HD.
clearer.
Otherwise, I would have bought it.
And that whole scene's hilarious. That's where we get Saki it to me. The
I always like
fart
when he
scene.
does the how dare you break wind before me? I'm sorry, I didn't know it was your turn.
And then he does the little poem. And then she's like, "Thank you. That was beautiful." She's very touched by it. Sorry, son.
Didn't mean to be rude. It was not me. It was my food.
It just came up
It
to
just
say
popped
hello.
up to say hello, and now it's gone back down below.
Thank you.
I always liked when he she comes to pleasure him or whatever, and he does like the dog leg thing. He's like, oh yeah, that's the spot. I thought that was so funny.
See, that's that perfect like 13-year-old humor where, you know, it's like he's doing sex, whatever that is, but this is funny because it's like a dog. I can't wait to do sex someday. It's gonna be the best.
Roz and I talked about this. We talked this morning for a little bit, and we talked about how it was at that perfect age where, like, probably when I first watched it, I was a little too young to be thinking about sex at all, or some. And by the next time I watched it, I was like wondering what a boob felt like, which is like the perfect age for Austin Powers.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. It does.
We recommend to watch Austin Powers when you're like, what does a boob feel like? When you're like that age. It's the perfect time to get into it.
It's a good litmus test for it. Yeah. No, it is. It's what
if your son is ever really honest with you and comes up to you.
Yeah, you're like,
well, it's time to
I
watch
got a requirement for certain movies, and when you're curious what a boob feels like, we can watch this movie. There's no boobs in it. You're gonna try and see them, but they won't be there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Brian promises.
There's nothing. So after that, leads to, well, one of the other big things that you have the whole scene of Austin, like, kind of gets hit with like living in the new world now and going out like, for on the night on the town and like just like learning about what's going on,
getting mocked, realizing all his friends are dead
at the bar.
Goes somebody peace sign. That's and they like laugh.
He goes like Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Mama Cass, ham sandwich. Pumping the Air Jordan until it explodes in his face. Like him watching the moon landing. Oh my God, that was great.
Watching the moon landing and be like, whoa, what? Just like mind blown by seeing that. And Liberace, who knew he was gay? Women loved him.
That was one that I had to be like, who is Liberace? That was how I learned who Liberace was.
Yeah. 100%. I probably was like, haha, that's hilarious, because I understood the context of the joke. I was like, this must be some person that was clearly gay, but I don't know. And then eventually, because back, I don't know, did I go to the encyclopedia and look up who Liberace was at that point?
What
were we doing? Well, I mean, AOL's around because he does get introduced to, that at some point, but
yeah.
I guess when Jay Roach, the director, stated that he did the product placement so that he was able to get a year's free service from AOL. Which, I mean, that's if you wanted to get online, that was the thing to do.
I love the honesty of that.
That's how he did it. More stuff, whatever's happening with Dr. Evil. I know a lot of it's between him and Scott.
And Austin was meeting with a lot of vagina to get the pictures of like the secret plans or whatever the hell Dr. Evil was up to. So those get revealed to the Ministry of Defense, and they have the whole meeting in there of like, oh, revealing the pictures. This is going to be the plan. We're going to go infiltrate the base and everything. This is where we learn Austin's two things that he fears or hates. One of them is nuclear war.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the other? Carnies. You get that whole scene of you smelling small hands, smelling cabbage. So that leads us to the meetup of getting to Dr. Evil, which has Austin and Vanessa infiltrating, which when we start getting a bunch more classic shit of the...
So they already then flew on their private jet when he does the whole like, oh, I've fallen over.
Oh, yeah.
I fall over again.
That whole...
That might be on the way to Vegas even. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's much earlier. But yeah, he's still trying to... He's hitting on her the whole time. She's like blowing off his advances.
And she's kind of into it though, because then she's upset that he hooked up with a lot of vagina.
Right.
She's like, oh, did you have sex with her? He's like, oh, I shagged her rotten.
I shagged her rotten. Yeah, and I mean that's Austin in a nutshell.
No, this is me in a nutshell. Help, I'm in a nutshell. Oh no, how did I get in here? What kind of nut has a shell like this? Shell has a nut like this.
And we also didn't. So they their infiltration of Dr. Evil's. They go on the tour This is where the guy's like talking about everything and volatile chemicals, and then
and volatile chemicals.
They see like two people walk out and go into the bathroom. And they're going to knock them out, take their clothes, and that's how they're going to infiltrate the employees. Yes,
come in. Yeah, we missed over when Scott and Dr. Evil go to the group therapy, and Dr. Evil gives like one of the best monologues of all time about his father was a something. It's like a foreign word that I didn't really know. Like my mother was a 15-year-old French prostitute named Chloe with webbed feet.
Webbed feet.
And
his testicles ritualistically shaven, which is quite refreshing.
Yeah, if you've never had your, what does he say? Short. He says something about if you've never had your testicles shorn, you must or something.
Yeah, you must.
But that whole
it's not that, but yeah, it's hilarious. And that has Carrie Fisher in it as the therapist, which is a lovely scene. So once they're in there and into the base, we have the steamroller, which is fucking that one.
Classic, which it's that guy.
Stood up.
Right? That actor.
That guy?
Yeah. Isn't that
Michael
Stewart?
McDonald? Yeah, Michael
maybe.
McDonald.
And is he also the guy
one
that
of the Johns?
Yes.
Isn't he one of the Johns?
Yes, he is one of the Johns. Yeah. He's Little John. Yes.
So that scene in particular, I always loved how they crush him like halfway and then stop and get out.
They stop as soon as they're on him. Yeah. I don't think I noticed that till this time. I was like, they're on it just long enough to hit him because they're telling him to move, and then they start running him over and they're like, all right, let's get off here.
They sneak in, they get caught, random task catches them. This is when we get, Dr. Evil wanted sharks with laser beams on their heads, but they couldn't get sharks because they went on the endangered species list. So they got sea bass. It had been months of red tape to clear up to get, deal with that shit. So they got the ill-tempered sea bass.
They're mutated sea bass.
Mutated.
Are they at least ill-tempered? It's like very ill-tempered, sir.
That's very a start. That's okay.
Who can work with that?
I do like. I want to chime back on this. I do like that Dr. Evil, when he does get like de-thawed, is in charge of, or his number 2 is in charge of a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Yeah.
So money is irrelevant to him. I think that's the funniest part of this entire thing is that he wants to kind of like take over the world. He goes, we have all the money. Like you don't.
Our assets alone make over $9 billion a year.
Exactly. Yeah. In our factory that makes miniature models of factories.
Of course.
Of course.
We say that a lot. I say, of course.
Oh, yeah, same. Yeah.
In one of the manners constantly, like it.
I say, if anybody says quid pro quo, it's not in this one.
Yes,
but if anyone says quid pro quo, I say, yes, squid pro row.
We'll get there. Right. Austin, they're getting dipped in. Dr. Evil has the door closed because why would you watch them, get killed?
He's like, look, I have a gun in my room. I can go get it. Go, bam.
We can come together. It'll be fun. This is like a bonding thing. No. This is when we get our gore of they throw the fossil around, swing over, push the guy into the sea bass, the mutated, ill-tempered sea bass. He gets his head chewed clean off. Austin has a few one-liners here.
Yeah.
And I like how it just kind of like eventually Vanessa's like, okay, that's enough. He's like, yep. They just walk off.
Not a good time to go losing your head.
I feel like that shot was basically him doing the one-liners.
Oh,
and then they were like, we can use one of these. And then they were just like, you know what? It's funnier that he says these in synchronicision.
And that's it. All right, let's go. So, that's right. Sorry. We'll talk about it once in a minute. This is when he gets Vanessa to go escape, bring in the cavalry, get the troops. They're driving in the little fucking car.
Oh, love this fucking joke.
Oh.
And Austin there's a thing blocking their way and they're going down a small hallway, but Austin needs to turn around. So he starts reversing.
Yeah.
Go for reverse, go forward, reverse, go forward. And then we cut away to some other Dr. Evil shit or whatever. They cut back to Austin just perfectly perpendicular.
Perfectly stuck in the hole. Just a couple inches of space on each side.
Still just actively back, forward. Forward. The way he plays it is just so cool and perfect. So while we get British forces are getting ready to get into the underground lair, this is when we get the Fembot scene. Austin fucking dancing around and seducing them. And I thought this was a hilarious scene, obviously, when I was a kid, when he fucking rips the pants off and he's wearing underwear and it has the fucking old, what do they call their flag?
Union Jack.
An old Union Jack there.
Right on that man hams.
Oh, yeah. It was beautiful.
We get real fuzzy. Fuzzy man hams.
And then when Vanessa and like the two special forces dude come by, hilarious. I thought I was like, they caught him in a peculiar situation. That is funny.
Oh, the humor.
Oh, the humor indeed. And Fembots themselves were just kind of like, that became a classic thing this.
Absolutely.
And
from this
movie,
we
didn't even touch on them. So all that happens leads to our big confrontation of everything. This is when Austin deactivates the Doomsday device. That whole thing's happening. It's a drill to go into the earth and blow up all the volcanoes.
It's just a guy counting down, talking into
like the announcer guy.
Two,
one, abort.
One,
abort. The complex will explode. So Austin aborts it, and then number 2 attempts to betray Dr. Evil. Well, Austin tries to confront Dr. Evil, but Vanessa is being held hostage by Olada, and this is when Austin tries to hold Scott hostage. Dr. Evil doesn't care. He's been trying to kill him. Apparently for months now. And then number 2 kind of comes over, and I like that he's carrying a Fembot in his briefcase. It comes down the stairs, and he's like, I've been fucking spending all this time building up this goddamn company. You're just coming in to ruin it or whatever and take over the world. There is no world. There's only corporations now. This was 1997, and
they were way ahead of the curve.
Saying something here.
Yeah, exactly. Get yourself a Fembot and get out of there. So he makes the mistake of sitting in a chair and he gets burned.
Why would he have done that?
I don't know. He would know better. Come on.
Yeah.
Dr. Evil just does this on a whim all the time. That leads Dr. Evil to escape and turn on the self-destruct sequence, right? And then they go chasing after him, but then they got to get out of the lair before it explodes. And then we get 3 months later with another fun little scene that we didn't talk about earlier, but there's this whole like naked thing where Austin would walk around and there'd be little things just covering just like the bits.
Whatever Naked Gun level of prop comedy going on in that. Just so good.
It's wonderful.
But you know what I realized? So they're just talking to Basil on the thing. Wouldn't he just be seeing them naked fully the whole time? And he doesn't.
Here's the thing the one thing I didn't like about it, what I thought was funny is that it always seemed everything was kind of like accidentally perfectly in place of the situation that was happening. Austin, like in Austin's scene alone, he wasn't ever trying to cover himself. It seemed like. Right. It was just happening,
which he does in this one.
But in this one with the present, it's like everything except for that moment. It doesn't seem like they care, except for that present.
I thought it was for because Austin had been sitting. I thought it was for
he just did one Dawn cross in the face.
Yeah, but then Elizabeth Hurley just comes and sits down in front of it,
and then just lets go. Yeah,
she's definitely not covered. So fucking
A, man. Well, needless to say, you don't really see anything.
Brian's tried.
Odd Job random task comes in and throws a shoe. Who throws a shoe? Honestly. And then we get the return of the Swedish penis pump. Throw that on random task. Pump that up and get knocked out over the head. Yeah, and it takes us out. Go onto the balcony. Look up into the sky and you see Dr. Evil kind of mostly frozen, with Mr. Bigglesworth chilling out.
Mr. Bigglesworth.
Yeah. Apparently, the cat that played Mr. Bigglesworth really liked Mike Myers and would just like hang out and fall asleep in his lap, often delaying shit.
I love that.
That's awesome.
And that takes us to our first weird like post-credit thing of like just Austin photographing Elizabeth Hurley.
Yeah.
And then we get the BBC song and the credits of Austin and his band singing. And then,
what are they called? Like the Electric Fuzz or something?
I forget what their fucking name is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Austin Powers. That's it, guys.
Yeah, baby.
We did it. We really went into that one. There's so many
Classic.
shit. So much
There's
shit. We're going to end this and be like, oh my God, I didn't even talk about this part. I love that one. That was my favorite.
I know, for real. Because like every scene in the movie has something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what really got me this time? Was when we first see all the people cryogenically frozen. We get like Harry Coleman and Vanilla Ice, and then Austin, and just how like Vanilla Ice is like a perfectly like modeled like Austin's hunky looking fella, and Austin's like looking all crazy and his hair's flying back. Yeah, exactly. All of that really amused me. The contrast there. I don't think I ever like noticed. I thought it was funny because he looked funny, but didn't see the contrast.
Totally.
I think maybe.
What's fun about this movie is that I think that because there are so many jokes going on and so many things going on with this movie, is that you could watch this 24 times and catch something funny that you didn't catch the other fucking two. It
reminded me of a comedy
Classic
for the sake of a
reason.
comedy, really spoofing on this one type of genre.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. I was like, people don't make comedies like this anymore. Like, we're just going to be funny. And I guess part of that is if it doesn't work, like it really doesn't work. Master of Disguise.
Yeah,
which I've never seen, so I shouldn't even say that. I just know that it bombed.
And I mean it's a risk to take, I would assume, but I don't think comedies. I mean, this one, who knows? But I didn't think, like, money wise, it doesn't seem like you don't necessarily need a big action set.
You don't get much return.
But with something like Austin Powers, I mean, I don't know. I think I think it was, I don't know, worked well. Again, each scene was edited down. I assume probably a lot. There was probably a lot of improvising and riffing, and they
absolutely
just grabbed all the right parts, I think, to make it really work.
Oh, it's practically perfect. If it weren't for that damn present box over his wiener at the end.
I know, right? They should have. What if this movie was rated R, and the whole time you're watching, you're like, why the hell is this rated R? And then right at the end, Austin gets up and
super gratuitous
dangly wiener.
That would be fucking hilarious.
We want the wiener cut.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Hey,
Austin's
no,
wiener.
we don't.
Austin's
Actually,
yeah.
we want the uncut.
Austin's wiener cut.
We want the uncut.
The uncut cut of wieners. Yeah. Cut. Austin.
Yeah. We just want to see that version. All right, rate it.
We want to see Foreskin Powers.
That's the fourth one. Austin Foreskin Powers.
Foreskin Powers. I'm gonna chop them all off. For everything. T-shirtable is the only one that's actually kind of an issue because, like,
right.
I can't think of it. It would have to be cool looking or somehow cool and more subtle than like a baby.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like if
groovy.
I think when you guys come up here, I think we should get all just each have shirts that have Austin Powers quotes on them, and that's it. Walk around with baby, and like,
all three of
are you
Randy? Do I make you horny,
like,
baby?
I could figure a good Austin Powers shirt to be just a spoof of like a James Bond cover or a James Bond poster, but just done in
like a post, totally,
or kind of like your background. Yes. You spoof it in a Halloween way. So it's Michael Myers. It's Michael Myers, Mike Myers, Austin Powers. And there's ways to play around with it. Yeah, well, I may give it a 0.5 with T-shirtable. My cockles give it a 1.5. Like,
right,
totally,
it shoots up somewhere else there. So it's certified.
It's a gold standard.
That's a lot of talking about Austin Powers for tonight. So I think we're gonna get out of here for you so that we can get into our regular shit.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some other shit.
Yeah.
And so thanks for
We're
enjoying
going to
this
talk about
shit.
Deadstream. Your patrons. Let them know.
Yeah. We're going to talk about Deadstream.
If you listen to Deadstream, know this just happened.
We just did this beforehand.
Welcome to Earth.
Welcome to Girth.
I don't know. We're going to get out of here.
Welcome to
You know how to
sadness.
follow Sam at Chuddle the Same. You know how to follow us.
You know
We
how
love
to
you,
follow us.
patrons. You guys
Thank
are
you,
so
guys.
awesome
Love
for
you.
being with us. We love you. And until next time, avoid the time loop.